Shania Twain, 5 Grammys, 12 Junos, and 26 Canadian Country Music Association awards. But before the world came to know her as Shania,
Mama never seemed to miss the fine things in life. She never did.
She was Eileen Twain, a small-town girl from Timmins, Ontario, trying to make it big in the world of music.
Whose bed have your boots made stronger?
And make it big, she did. With more than 75 million albums sold worldwide, she remains one of the top-selling female singers of all time. She successfully crossed the divide between country music and pop, and she's now laid out her journey from her humble beginnings to the heights of fame in her new memoir. It's called From This Moment, and it invites readers into some of the most painful and personal times of her life. Her parents' sudden death, the double betrayal of her ex-husband's affair, and how she has learned to love again.
And right now, ladies and gentlemen, Shania Twain is here in our studio.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. How'd I go?
It's so great to have you back with us. We were just, not a minute ago, trying to remember, it was 2004 that you were on our show, and we were down at Dundas Square in Toronto, playing some hockey, I think.
Yeah.
I can't believe that was 7 years
So
ago.
long ago. I mean, a lot's happened.
A lifetime has happened, especially for you.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing terrific. It's really great to be back here, and it's lovely. Yeah.
Let's, you almost want to begin at the beginning. Let's start off with your reasons for writing this book, because we were talking about how it is very open, Shania. It's very candid.
Yeah.
You're really laying it out there, hey?
Well, that's what it's all about. It's all about self-expression, putting myself out of my comfort zone, forcing myself to face a lot of the fears that I've lived with a lot of my life, because I've gotten to the point where I really can't sing anymore. I'm going to have to go through some very serious physiotherapy and recovery in that aspect to genuinely to be able to sing again. So that was a good enough reason for me to question myself and say, what do you have to do to fix this? And I realized that just too much suppression from the very beginning of my life, and it all just very slowly accumulated and manifested itself and closed off my voice. The volume of my voice. I can speak, although sometimes even the speaking comes and goes. It's really pretty scary and very inconsistent. But the main reason that I documented my life story, there are two things here. The reason I documented my life story was so that my son could have a true account of my life from me, coming from me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good thing to do. I would recommend that for anyone anyway, in case you were to die prematurely. Not something that you want to think about, but I think it's good to think ahead a little bit, especially a lot of parents are older now, having children a little bit older, and if you leave young children before they were able to really get to know you, because they weren't maybe mature enough to understand your life. And I can tell you that my life in that book, my son's too young, and the book is too mature and the story's too mature for him to read now even. So how could I possibly sit him down and tell him about my life? Yeah, so I thought I'll document it for someday should he ever need to read it. Secondly, it really was to reach out to other people. I'm sure I'm not the only one in the world that's gone through the things that I've gone through. I know I'm not alone. But I think a lot of people need to know they're also not alone. And they might not have the courage to speak out themselves. And I just feel a responsibility. I feel very compelled to do it myself, to encourage them and give them hope. Even if they don't reach the point where they feel they can speak out themselves for themselves, that they might at least, like I said, know that they're not alone and feel comfort in that. So there's multiple reasons, really.
When you walk us through your life, you've always been, as a superstar, as we've known you, very private, and you lived in Switzerland for a reason, and so opening up your life in this book gave us such an understanding where you came from. And one of the things that I found most compelling to read about was well, your parents, of course, but your mother and her role in why you were singing so young, and her support. She suffered from depression. She was in bed a lot. You had to do a lot.
Yeah.
When she wasn't in bed, she was pushing you into or supporting you in your career to perform.
You're not wrong. She pushed and she supported. It was both. She believed in me very much in a very genuine way. And so she supported that talent that she genuinely felt deserved the support and attention. But she pushed me in the sense that I just think that her desperation to hold on to something, my music being a bit of a lifeline for her. And so in the more desperate times, she pushed me because she needed it more than I did. I needed music. I love music. I have a passion for music. Would I have made it my career if I'd had a choice from a very young age? I don't think so. I don't think it would have been my profession. It would have been something I would have always done for myself as a very self-satisfying pleasure.
Yeah.
But to think of making it as, into a career and getting up on stage and putting myself in the spotlight, that would not have been my personal choice. So that's where she had to push me quite a bit out of my
So
comfort
young,
zone there.
too,
So
yeah.
I don't regret this. I don't say this with any regret. I'm glad she did. And I want to say also that my father was very supportive too. It was a real struggle that when we were struggling financially and we couldn't afford the gas money to go to a gig, that my father was more practical and would say to my mom, she really just can't do this. We can't afford it. We need to put that $25 towards the groceries or towards a hydro bill. And my mother would do it anyway. She wouldn't listen. So it would create a lot of arguments. But my dad always loved to sit around and listen to me sing. He was a huge fan. So it was a struggle all the way around, and I think it was mixed feelings from all of us when it came to my career.
I think we're going to take a break right here, and we're going to come back with more with Shania Twain.